Hello, seventh grade. This is our second to last packet before the end of the year, and this packet only has two things you have to read. So usually we do an article on Wednesday and an article on Thursday, but we change it up a little bit this week, and now there's only an article on Thursday, and then there's obviously the chapter of Animal Farm. So I'll just be reading this article and then the Animal Farm chapter, and as usual, uploading them to YouTube. So I'm going to start first with this article that I pulled off Newzela, however you want to pronounce it, and it's titled Americans React to a Girl's Pain Differently Than a Boy's, a study says. A child's finger is stuck with a needle at a doctor's office, and the child cries out, "Ow, ah, oh!" How much pain adult Americans think the young patient is suffering will depend on the gender of the child. Those who know the distressed patient as Samuel will conclude that he is in more pain than those who know the patient as Samantha. This conclusion comes from new research published this month in the Journal of Pediatric Psychology, a science journal. In this case, Samuel and Samantha are in fact the same 5-year-old child. The subject's shoulder-length blonde hair, red t-shirt, and gym shorts do not immediately suggest male or female characteristics. In the experiment, the child's finger prick test was captured in a short video. The video was played for 264 adults aged 18 to 75. Participants were told to rate the child's pain on a scale from 0, no pain, to 100, severe pain. On average, participants who were told that they were watching a boy's reaction to his pre-kindergarten doctor's visit rated his pain at 50.42 on average. Those who were informed that the patient was a girl rated her pain as 45.90 on average. Adults' pain opinions might already be formed. Researchers discovered that adults tended to already believe that boys don't express pain the same way as girls. That is, they thought a girl says ow sooner than a boy does. Therefore, when a boy says ow, the pain must be greater. This bias or prejudice in the adults led them to rate the pain they saw as higher for the boy than the girl. The results of this study affect scientists' investigation of pain in 3 ways. First, they help them understand more about male and female differences in pain where children are concerned. This has been studied mostly just in adults. The results can also help scientists examine prejudice and how pain is measured based on other factors such as race. Finally, the results suggest a course correction in children's health care is needed, as doctors and nurses may exhibit the same bias. Adults have a lot of authority and agency in saying, "This is how I feel." We express ourselves in nuanced ways, Brian D. Earp, who helped run the study, said in an interview. But young children and how they are attended to depends on the judgments of adults in the room. Understanding the structure of those judgments is important for equitable health care. Part of the findings surprised the paper's authors. Women participants were more likely than men to say the pain of the subject was less severe when told it was a girl. The researchers were mystified by this. Biases show up unexpectedly. Something similar happened in a 2014 study that the new paper takes as its model. A sample of mostly female nursing and psychology students viewed the same video as in the recent study. They too rated Samuel as experiencing more pain than Samantha. These responses indicate gender bias. Prejudice based on whether the patient was male or female affects medical professionals. Bias potentially affects the healthcare decisions they make. Nurses take care of patients' physical health, and psychologists take care of patients' mental and emotional health. Lindsay Cohen, a professor of psychology at Georgia State University, led the earlier study. He said that he had long wondered if the bias they found in women participants would also show up in men. It appears that it doesn't. In the new study, where the young patient was perceived as male or female, had no effect on assessments offered by 156 male participants. Related experiments have raised complicating results. However, for instance, a 2008 study found that the fathers rated the pain of their sons higher than that of their daughters in a cold pressor test, in which a child immerses a hand in a container of ice water. Mothers showed no difference. Researchers suggest race be included in the new study. Meanwhile, even though male and female adults experience pain differently, research has shown that young children do not. The hormone thought to account for the difference are not present before puberty. What if boys do tend to put up with more pain before expressing it? In that case, Earp said there might be good reasons for the experiment's results. Kate Mann, a philosopher at Cornell University, casts doubt on that idea. She points out that some research has found that boys are more likely than girls to express negative emotions in childhood. This pattern reverses in adolescence. Erb said that he would like his next study to introduce the factor of race. The subject has been explored by researchers. It revealed a mistaken idea that people have in thinking that black people have a higher tolerance for pain, he said. This idea has been studied a lot. However, this subject has rarely been studied in combination with gender bias, especially among children. Grim examples exist of the consequences for both adults and children of racially biased assessments of pain. Minority and low income children have more difficulty getting pain evaluated and treated. To Earp, this pattern of bias suggests an urgent problem. How healthcare decisions are made for children may be affected by gender bias. Um, I found this article really interesting, especially the ideas that like the bias against girls is actually held stronger by women, and it makes me think about how we can like we can know logically that gender bias exists, but it doesn't mean that we don't actively participate in the prejudice of like our own gender. I just think that's really interesting, especially as like from medical professionals. That's like terrifying. So we have a few questions. Which of the following sentences from the article include central ideas of the article? So you're going to read these 4 sentences and you'll write down or you'll answer which sentences it is. Which statement would be most important to include in the summary of the article? Pick a sentence. Why does Brian D. Earp want to continue study the role of gender and racial bias to play in medical treatment? Boom. How did the results in this new study affect Kate Mann? Go back and read her section. And then there is a writing assignment. Based on what you heard in this article, how and why are gender bias and stereotypes hurting girls? Please write at least 3 sentences. 3 sentences. I should see 3 capital letters at the beginning of 3 sentences that end with 3 periods. Come on, guys. Right there. No excuse. 3 sentences. 3. All right. I will be back for the next read aloud. Love you.